Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Helen. I'm your first client. Are you ready, Mr. Harold? Take your time.
No, come in, please. Shut the door behind you if you don't mind.
Yes. I'm your first one and second one. My name is Helen Solano.
Good morning, Ellie.
Good morning. Okay.
Please have a seat.
Yes.
My name is Harold Zawatski. I need to do a few things first.
Of course.
This is appeal number 16.
You want me to double check that?
No, I know that.
Okay,
I have the folder
perfect.
here.
Okay.
16, and today is the 2nd. And it is 9:04 a.m. So, Mrs. Salerno, I'm
Yes.
going to hear your appeal today, and your hearing is recorded, and it is available to be heard by the public as well. Your appeal number is 16. Your property is, and your appealing is located at 394 Penfield Road in Fairfield. And this is regarding residential land, PID number 11940.
Correct.
The owner of the property is John and Helene Salerno.
Correct.
The town has appraised your property for $453,320.
Correct.
And you are requesting that the town reduce your appraised value to what number?
The number that I'd like the town to reduce my land, it would be $385,000.
$385,000. Okay, great. Now I'm going to confirm that you are either the owner of the property or an agent authorized to appeal on the owner's behalf to swear you in.
Yes.
Are you the owner of the
Yes,
property?
I am.
Along with your husband, John?
Correct.
And do you have an affidavit that you are representing him?
I don't have anything in writing. He's my husband, and he's a doctor and he's working in the hospital, so I don't have anything in writing. I have my driver's license to show you.
No, that is okay. I would suggest that, were you sent an affidavit in the mail?
I would love to do that even downstairs. I'm on my way out, whatever you wish. Sure.
All right. Pick up an affidavit, have your husband sign it, and then bring it back to the appraiser's office.
I will do that today. And thank you for allowing me to do that.
All right, I'm going to ask you to raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay. Would you please sign that form that you have been sworn in?
Yes.
Okay. Now, as succinctly as you can, please tell me your reasons.
So I did a research based on the assessed period of October 1st, 2019 to October 1st, 2020. I researched what land had sold within a quarter mile to a mile of my lot. And again, I'm comparing land to land. So I have a few examples that I came up with. 67
Go ahead.
0.29 acre, which is similar to my acreage. My 394 Kentfield is also 0.29.
And we got recording and muted well set.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Don't go too far.
I won't.
It's going to be a long day. Okay, so where do I start again?
Mrs. Salerno, please continue with your information that as to the reason why you want to reduce your assessment.
Thank you so much. So again, going to a research criteria that is October 1st, 2019 to October 1st, 2020, I looked at comparable that sold with that period with land sales. So I would like the town to consider reducing my assessment to $385,000 because we have 4 land sales within that period that are below $300,000 value. The first one, as an example, is 67 Mona Terrace. It's 0.29 of an acre. My land is also 0.29 of an acre, so same size. 67 Mona Terrace is located not even a quarter mile to my lot, and that is assessed as $299,530. We have another lot very close by, and I do have a map to provide later on. It's 214 Alden Street, PID 16315. That lot sold in September 18, 2020. That lot has been assessed with $306,390 value. That lot is about 0.18 of an acre, so a little smaller. I do have 2 other lots that are comparable, and again within the quarter mile to a mile radius. And the second property is 195 North Benson. The PID number is 10082, and that lot is the same size as mine. That lot has 0.29 acres, and that lot has been assessed by the town at $198,800, well below $200,000. Again, my lot is appraised at $453,320. And I do have another land sale within the same period. I have 1019, so 1019 Mill Hill Terrace, PID 19705. That lot is about 0.25 of an acre, about the same as mine, I would say. So that lot was assessed by the town with a value of $240,660. So the average, if you take in consideration the average assessed value of those lots that sold within the period of the assessment, the average of 67 Mona Terrace, 1995 North Benson, 1019 Mill Hill Terrace, 214 Alden. The average of those assessments are $261,345. I want to focus on 1995 North Benson, which is really down, not too far from my lot.
Yes.
And again, that was basically assessed the lowest.
Yes.
It's 198,800. So even though the average is $261,000 and 345, I think that my lot, considering the fact it's a little closer to the beach, then it brings more value to it. I understand, but I think that $453,320 is way above the asset value. So a compromise that I will hope that the town will take, that is to assess my lot around $385,000 or lower if the town feels like it's necessary. That is for my first lot, 394 Penfield Road. Again, those are empty lots. They are land.
Thank you very much, Helene. These are vacant lots?
Yes, sir.
Was there a structure on the lot before?
There was, yes, tear down in 2018. Yes.
It was torn down in 2018.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any additional information that you would like to provide to this file?
Yes, sir. I created this morning a map that shows my property and also the one that I mentioned. You can see the proximity of such.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
So the next steps, I will be presenting. I'm one of 9 members of our Board of Appeals. A board.
Yes, I exactly. I researched your board and
Okay.
I know you.
Great. We are volunteers and we act as representatives for our fellow taxpayers. We will then hold deliberations later this month, and our decision will be sent to you in writing within 7 days. We expect that to be made in March. If your appeal is denied, you can come back next year. If you are granted a reduction, you cannot appeal again for 5 years. And if you are dissatisfied with the board's decision, your next step would be to appeal your decision in the Superior Court of the State of Connecticut. And instructions of how to appeal the court will be in your decision letter. Thank you very much. That concludes your hearing for appeal number 16. And we'll move on to your next appeal. Just one moment, please. Bit of paperwork to do here.
Yes.
This is appeal number 15. It is March the 2nd at 9:18 a.m. This is Harold Zawatski. And present before me is Helene Salerno.
Correct.
Helene, do you have an affidavit for your husband stating that you are authorized to represent him?
No, but I will get this today.
All right. If you can get that and have your husband sign the affidavit, you can get a copy from the assessor's office and deliver it back to the assessor's office. That will indicate that you are representing your husband as well as yourself. You have already been sworn in on the previous appeal, so I think we can proceed. You are appealing the property at 378 Penfield Road in Fairfield. This is appeal number 15. The PID number is 11941.
Correct. Should I start?
You are the owner of the property.
Yes.
The town has you appraised at $460,880, and you are requesting that your town reduce your appraisal to what value?
$385,000.
Great. Now, please state your name for the record.
My name is Helen Salerno.
As I said previously, you've already been sworn in on the previous appeal. So could you please state your reasons why you believe the market value of your home on October 1st, 2020 from that is appraised at $460,880 is not the value that the value assigned by the town that is what you're requesting. Could you please tell me what your amount is that you're requesting the town consider reducing your assessment to?
$385,000. And the reason that I request the town to consider lowering my assessment is because I have 4 comparables within the assessment timetable, which is October 1st, 2019 and October 1st, 2020. Those land values are way below $300,000. So I would like to go through every single sale and assess values to really show you that my lot is overpriced. Again, we are comparing land to land. The subject property that we are challenging today, again, is 378 Penfield Road. The town has assessed my property, my land, at $460,880. That particular land has a size of 0.30 of an acre. Now, if you look at the comparable sales, and I would like to start with 1995 North Benson, PID 10082. That lot is 0.29 of an acre, and that lot has been assessed recently by the town at $198,800,000. Furthermore, there are 3 other lots that are really irrelevant as far as assessed value. The second one is 67 Monarch Terrace, which is just around the corner from my lot. That lot has been assessed at $299,530. Okay, this lot was sold on July 10, 2020, and I'm going to refer to the MLS listing, and I will tell you why. The MLS listing is 17029306C. Well, that lot has been then subdivided by the present owner. But regardless, according to Mr. Ken Carvel, that 67 Monarch Terrace has been assessed at $299,530. Again, my lot is appraised at $460,880. We're going to go to the next sales and assessment. The next sale and assessment is 1019 Millhill Terrace, PID 19705. That is a lot size of 0.25, and that particular property was appraised by the town at a value of $240,660, way below mine. Actually, the town decreased it by almost $100,000 to be precise. The town decreased our lot $99,540, while mine was appraised and assessed at a plus at an additional $59,517.
Yes, I see that.
There is other lots that I'd like the town to take in consideration. The next one is 214 Alden, with a PID 16315. That sold on September 18, 2020. That lot is about 0.18. That lot is appraised currently by the town at $306,300. Okay, I'm blanking. $306,390.
Yes.
So, again, we're below mine. Mine is at $460,000, almost $461,000. So we went over 67 Monarch Terrace. We went over 1019 Mill Hill Terrace, and we went over 1214 Alden. There's one other property that I like to really focus on. It's 1995 North Benson. It's 0.29 of an acre, so just like mine. And that lot is interesting because the asset value is only $198,800. So again, my lot is almost twice. As far as the value, has twice of the value. I don't know why, but again, this is why I'm challenging. If you take in consideration the average assessment value of those comparables, the average comes to $261,345. I'm asking the town not to come that low because I do realize that my Penfield lot are closer somehow to the beach. I would love for the town to consider bringing my lot to a $385,000, considering the past sales within the time frame of the assessment period, and also the size of the property, and also their resale values and timing. Thank you.
Thank you, Helene. Do you have any additional information that you would like us to add to your folder?
Yes, please. I would like to add a map showing the subject property and the comparables. Thank you.
Thank you. I have it. Well, Helene, thank you for providing this information, and thank you for coming into this hearing today. I will be presenting your petition to the majority of the board at our deliberation sessions, and consideration and voting will be done. You will be notified by mail by the board's decision within 7 days of the decision. All decisions will be made in March. And if your appeal was denied, you can come back next year. If you are granted a reduction, you cannot appeal again until the next revaluation in 5 years. If you don't agree with the board's decision, you can take the next steps and appeal your decision in court. Instructions on how to appeal will be included in your decision letter. Thank you again. Do you have any questions for me?
No, thank you so much.
All right. So please remember to get the form of the affidavit, have your husband sign it, and please have it delivered to the assessor's office downstairs.
Okay, perfect. I will.
Thank you.
You don't need me to fill out that form space that was here, because I think we need one per hearing. So this is the case 15. We did the case 16 before, so I think I need to sign that for you. I have the pen. Yeah, perfect. I'll be on my way. Thank you so much, Mr. Harold.
Thank you for reminding me of that.
Yeah, you have. Maybe keep couple here, so you have an eyesight on this. Okay, and so today's the 2nd. Okay. Okay, perfect. And I'm just gonna put my property just in case on top. All right, good luck. It's going to be a long day, but it's all cool. We don't bite. That's good.
You're very, very well prepared. Thank you.
I hope so. I sweated enough on this. All right, thank you so much.
See what happens. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. on to your first question. Good for you. Thanks. Yeah. Quick question.
Sure.
No, we.
That's room.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yep. I don't know that that form's going to be great. We may go to an online form, but at least for now, you know. How are you doing reading things into the record? Is it working okay?
It seems to be working.
No, but even, you know, these were the instructions I wrote at whatever time last night. Okay. Judy's following them. They're a little wordy in one section, so and so you've done 2 so far? Okay.
Yes.
And what they're telling us is that if you want copies of this to take with you, you need to put them in the copy machine before you leave and then put it back in the folder so you have your own copy. The sworn statement, you can just put in the folder, write the date.
Appeal number 15 ended at 9:28 a.m.
So that's the only, we hadn't really worked out what we were going to do with the note sheet. So you have 7 days to get them in.
Mr. Adams? Mr. Adams? Are you Mr. Adams? I would have turned around if I had been. Mr. Gennaro.
Mr. Chairman, please have a seat. I'll be ready.
Thank you. era we'd shake hands, but you know how it is now.
Yes. Well, I did get both my shots, but it's prudent to be safe, right?
I am getting mine at 12 o'clock today. So I stayed up till midnight. As soon as the clock ticked, I made an appointment, my wife and I. So looking forward to that, getting that out of the way.
Welcome.
Thank you.
My name is Harold Zawatski. I'm one of the 9 members of the Board of Assessment Appeals, and I'm going to hear your appeal today. Your hearing is being recorded and also available for listening to by the public in real time.
Great.
Your appeal number is number 175.
Correct.
Today is March 2nd, 2021. And you are here for your 945 appeal.
Yes. All correct.
Your property, Mr. DeGennaro, is owned by you and your wife, Heidi DeGennaro?
Correct.
All right. I would suggest that because you are co-owners, and I believe the statutes do require that both owners be present, or that you sign it, get your wife, Heidi DeGennaro, to sign an affidavit that you're representing her. So
I'm actually an attorney, so she is my client. I'm representing that on the record.
Very good, sir. So need not swear you in as well as an officer of the court.
Fine. Happy to do it either way.
That's okay. So just to state, your property is located at 318 Lally Boulevard.
Yes.
It's a single-family residence.
Correct.
The town has you appraised at $759,700.
That's correct.
And you are seeking a reduction to $641,800.
Right. Essentially the land component.
All right.
I think that's a very compelling reason for that as well.
I understand. One moment. Just let me state again, you stipulate that you're an attorney, so I'm not going to swear you in at this time.
Correct.
All right. Please note that the assessor generally takes all the property, buildings, and land together in the assessment. But please explain to me why the value that the town has you assessed at is not the value that you believe the market value should be.
Certainly. If you're familiar with the area, 318 Lally Boulevard is in what's commonly known as the beach area.
I would ask you to please speak up because this phone is doing the recording.
Would you like me to change my seat?
If that would be convenient for you, yes, you can change your seat.
We do want to
and
make sure the
speak into
record is
phone.
correct.
Thank you.
If you're familiar with the area, 318 Lally Boulevard, and I'll just refer to it as the subject property, is in what's known as the beach area, which has been subject to substantial change because of the results of Storm Sandy. This has resulted in an influx of builders since Sandy, and what they have done is change the market demand in the area from existing homes to new construction. So at this point, majority of homes that have been sold in the area are teardowns, and they're bought solely for the land value. And I attach a chart to my appeal, to our appeal, which indicates with a legend. And I have limited it to properties that I think are most similarly situated to the subject property, which are the roads adjacent to Lally, which are Penfield and Roland, and in the same block. So it's east and west, including Lally. Of that, more than half of those houses have been torn down and new construction has been built in place of the existing homes, which are over 70 years old.
Excuse me, are these 3 pages the map that you are including?
That is correct. Those are little legends at the bottom. I have constructed, says tear downs, lifted, and I may have put also substantially remodeled.
I see that. Thank you.
The houses that mostly existing, unimproved or mildly improved, and I consider mildly improved to be something like a dormer, which is my house. Those houses, when they sell, invariably are torn down and new construction in its place. So the fair market value really is not dependent on the value of the improvements. It is the value of the land. Matter of fact, improvements are a detriment to value because a contractor must tear them down.
Yes.
So that is the argument, and I could go through. I think I have over 40 examples, and obviously we're pressed for time. I'm not going to waste your time going through every single one, but I have the best example of it, which is 234 Lally Boulevard, which is on the same block on the same side at the other end of the block. And I'll give you in a moment a copy of a Google Maps photograph which shows the pre-existing condition of the home, and you'll be able to see it looks like the subject. And then you'll see the assessment card, the current assessment card, which shows the substantial improvements that's been done. It also shows that the sale price of the property, which took into account its land value. And the sale was from February 2020, and 234 Lally Boulevard sold for $660,000, and it was immediately torn down, and in its place a colossal house built in its place, lifted because of the floodplain regulations. The current houses are not flood compliant, so anyone who buys them is either going to have a substantial, existing owners are grandfathered in when it comes to floodplain, flood insurance.
Mr. Lally, may I ask, is your property FEMA compliant?
No, it is not. It is not. It has a basement, first of all, which is not compliant, but also its first livable floor is not above the minimum requirement, which I believe is 13 feet now, and it's at 11 feet. So it is not flood compliant. That's correct.
Thank you.
So if you can, I'll have it slide through to you. What I'm giving to you is on a Google Street View, which shows the pre-existing condition of it, and then the card, the current assessment card, which shows there's a photograph there showing the current state of it. And then if you look at the most recent sale, which was 2020, which interestingly is the same time period as the assessment period, it's a value of $660,000, which I think accurately reflects the fair market value of the property, because that property, same size, it was mildly improved, but not sufficient to garner demand outside of builders. The builder, they buy them and then they put these up and then they sell them for $2 million. I believe that, I tried to find the listing for this house, but I believe it's already been sold to a private buyer.
You mentioned an amount of $667,000. That pertains to which property?
The 234, the comparable, 234 Lally.
This is 235 that you gave me, but you have another?
Sorry, that is 235. Unfortunately, that is the correct property. If you look at the assessment card, it says 234. The Google, the incorrect address is printed on the photograph of the pre-existing data. I apologize.
I understand. So the photograph is not equal to the 234 Lally Boulevard property on the property card?
It's the correct property, 234. It's just incorrectly printed on the
I understand.
Google. I can't trust Google all the time. And if you look at the assessment card photograph, you'll note it is the same angle. And it is the same. You'll notice that the adjacent building is the same building.
Again, the amount that you that I see here on the card for 234 Lally, the land assessment is $449,260.
That's the assessment. Yes, correct.
Okay.
The land value is exactly identical to my land value. All the lots in that block are identical size.
Understood.
So if you look at the most recent sale from February 2020, it was for $660,000, which I think accurately reflects the real value of the property, which is its only land component. And that house was habitable, right before it sold. Not as if it was a damaged house or was uninhabitable.
Right. Okay.
And that is I could go through multiple other examples of it with the properties I noted on my map, but I think this is the most germane because it is contemporaneous. The sale is contemporaneous with the assessment period, and it is also very similarly situated because it's on the exact same block.
Okay, Mr. DeGennaro, thank you very much for coming in today to present at this hearing your reasons for why you feel that the town should consider reducing your market value. I will be representing you and presenting the petition before the majority of the board members, and then we will deliberate and consider your appeal and make a decision. Decisions will be sent to you within 1 week of the time of the deliberations. If your appeal is denied, you can come back next year. If it is approved, then you cannot appeal again for until the next reevaluation period in 5 years. And if you disagree with the board's decision, your next step would be to take your appeal to the Superior Court of the State of Connecticut, and instructions of how to do that will be sent to you in a decision letter. I want to thank you very much on behalf of the Board of Assessment Appeals, and we thank you for your time, sir.
I similarly thank the boards because I understand you are all volunteers and dedicate a substantial amount of time to this.
Yes, we
it's
are.
Mostly unappreciated, but I appreciate it.
Thank you very much, and this year is quite unusual because of the revaluation. We have multiple times as many appeals to deal with.
I have no doubt. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Take care.
Bye-bye. This hearing has ended at 9:55 a.m. This is Harold Zawatski. We are in room number 1, and we have just heard appeal number 175, represented by Paul DeGennaro, attorney and owner of the property.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm trying to come.
Okay. This is Harold Zawatski. Today is March 2nd, 2020. It is 9:58 a.m. I am reporting that Charles Adams, appeal number 65, is a no-show. He was scheduled to arrive at 9:30 a.m. It is now 9:59 a.m.
me what you want us to do.
This is Harold Zawatski. This phone is the recording phone, so I'd ask you to speak towards the phone as loud as you can, and we'll shut the door behind you. Harold, please have a seat, and then I'll request that information.
Okay.
Today is Tuesday, March 2nd, 2021. We're hearing appeal number 290 in room number 1, bridge number 1, and the recording start time is 10:11 a.m. Welcome.
Thank you.
My name is Harold Zawatski. I'm one of the 9 members of the Board of Assessment Appeals, and I'm going to hear your appeal today. Your hearing is being recorded, and it's also available in real time online for the public to listen to. Your appeal number is 290. The property you're appealing is located at 451 Roland Road, Fairfield, Connecticut. The owner of the property is Mark and Robin Purzycki. And representing the owners is Robin Purzycki. Great. Now I'm going to confirm that, well, you are the owner of the property. Also present is your name, sir?
It's Jeffrey Smith.
Jeffrey Smith, and you are an appraiser?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Robin, I'm going to ask you to swear in, please.
Sure.
So if you don't mind to raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or sincerely affirm that, as the case may be, that the evidence you shall give concerning this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God?
I do.
Great. If you could please sign that form that indicates you've been sworn in. And one moment, please. I'll be right with you. There's a bit more to do this year because of the setup that you see and the fact that we have to record our hearing information. Mr. Smith, what was your first name again? I'm sorry.
Jeff.
Jeff Smith. Okay, the town has valued your property at $763,300, and you believe that because of several factors, your opinion of the market value should be less.
Correct.
And I believe that Jeff Smith is here to present some information that would indicate that, but I do need you also to state the amount that you think the market value should be.
I'm sorry, I didn't have the appraisal at the time that this was due, so I wrote out another one if you need it, but on that line, I believe that the property is valued at $680,000.
Okay. Ms. Purzycki, I would ask you to speak up a bit louder and speak in towards this phone if you don't mind, since we do wish to record this information for posterity. Okay. Please indicate your reasons, or if Jeff is going to do that, Jeff Smith, the appraiser, please proceed.
Yes, sir. Would you like, can I offer you a copy of the appraisal that I did?
Yes, and that'll be added to the file. If you could briefly summarize the appraisal that supports the $680,000 opinion of the market value, I'd appreciate that.
Okay. First of all, I'd just like to say I've been an appraiser, state certified for 30-plus years. I grew up in Fairfield, so I'm very familiar with the town and the values in and around, especially down by the beach. Ms. Brzezicki contacted me to do an appraisal on the property, and I went out to the property on February 22nd and did a full interior and exterior inspection of the subject and did some research on comparable sales within the beach neighborhood and utilizing sales that I felt were most similar in size and location and condition. I came up with a value of $680,000 using the comparables located at 785 Roland Road, which sold for $650,000 on April 2nd of 2020, 664 Beach Road, which sold for $709 on October 25th of 2019, 145 Puritan Road, closed for $775,000 on March 24th of 2020. The house had been remodeled and was considered to be in superior condition. It was approximately 800 square feet larger than the subject. I also used a comparable at 186 Puritan Road that sold for $770,000 on December 24th of 2019. The house was in better condition, and it was also about 500 square feet larger.
Yes.
The last sale that I used was 58 Smith Street, which sold for $649,000 on June 29th of 2020. Similar condition, slightly smaller. All the sales were recent within the subject neighborhood. I have an adjusted value range of $667,800 to $711,500, which indicates to me a value that is less than what the revaluation considers of the $763,300.
Okay.
So when I to determine the value, I gave the most weight to the first two comparables, 1 and 2, because they're both the most similar in size. Comp 1 is located on the same street, and they were both similar in condition. None of these homes here have been raised to be, the subject is not FEMA compliant, and none of the comparables here are FEMA compliant at the time they sold.
Is the property occupied by the owner
Yes.
currently?
Yes.
Okay. Well, this is certainly very good supporting documentation. Thank you. So I'm adding the appraisal to the file. Is there anything else you would like to add to the file?
I would like to add, before I contacted Mr. Smith, I had a realtor
Yes.
look over the property because I felt it was too high, but I wanted a professional.
Yes.
And so Terry Keegan from Fairfield County Real Estate wrote a letter in support of the Smith appraisal. And again, with the home not being FEMA compliant and not being updated, he felt the town value was much too high, and what Mr. Smith came in at was more reasonable for the home.
Understood.
So that's basically what I wanted to say.
All right, I can add that to the file as well if you like.
Did you need another copy with me putting the number?
I will take that from you as well.
Okay.
Yes. And you signed those documents?
Yes, and this document.
Okay, anything else you wish to add?
I have nothing. Do you have any questions, sir?
No, I would say that the information that you provided will be very helpful for us when we do our deliberations. And the next steps will be that I will present your case when we do the deliberation with a majority of our 9-member board, and that will take place towards the end of the month. And then you will receive a decision within 7 days of our voting on the deliberation. And we anticipate that all of the deliberations will be concluded in March, and you will receive a letter within 7 days, as I said. If your appeal is denied, you can come back next year. If it is approved, you'll have to wait 5 years until the next reevaluation. If you are in disagreement with the board's decision, your next step could be to go to the state superior court to appeal your case, and information on how to do that will be provided with your decision letter. So I want to thank you very much.
I also just wanted to add that
yes.
Mr. Smith, when he came out to appraise our house,
yes,
came inside the house and actually did an appraisal of everything, versus the town never contacted me to see the home on the inside or anything.
Did you do an informal hearing?
I did not.
Okay.
I didn't. I was very with personal things, and my mom at the time, I just didn't realize I wasn't able to. That's why
That's why you're here.
Yeah.
Well, that's good, and as I said, you provided some good documentation to help support your claim, and we will take that into consideration. The board acts as advocates for our fellow taxpayers. We are all volunteers doing this on behalf of the taxpayers who feel that their appraisal and assessment was not adequately reflecting their beliefs. So that's what our role is. And we will let you know the decision. So it is currently 10:23 a.m. We have just heard appeal number 290, and it's represented by homeowner Robin Perzicki, and the address was 451 Roland Road, Fairfield, Connecticut. That concludes. Thank you.
Just curious, since I'm also representing myself and my mom in her home.
Yes.
Can we do that right next?
We can do it right next. Let me just put this paperwork to bed.
I'm not trying to hurry you. I just didn't, we had to leave and come back. I don't want to.
No, absolutely not.
Okay, great.
We'll continue. We started a bit early and we ended a bit early, so that's good for keeping on schedule, right?
Thank you.
Just give me a moment to organize this. thank you for your patience.
Our pleasure.
All right, this is Harold Zawatski. We're about to hear appeal number 65. It is March 2nd, 2021. The recording start time is 10:28 a.m. Representing this property is, state your name?
Robin Przicki.
Robin Przicki. Robin, are you the owner of this property?
Yes, I'm just verifying because my thing says 291. I just want to make sure we're on the right house.
I show the property for Alice DeZenzo.
No, that's not the right
Oh,
one.
that's not you. My mistake.
That's okay.
It appears that I don't have that folder for some reason. Do you have information regarding?
I'm sorry, she told us at the you mean I have my appeal notice.
All right, if you will just bear with me.
Tuesday, March 2nd, here,
What is the appeal number?
291.
For Marguerite
Correct.
Leggiardo.
Yes, that's my mother.
Leggiardo, excuse
Correct.
me. All right, sorry, they were a bit out of order.
No problem.
You are this is Harold Zawatski. I'm about to hear appeal number 291. It is being presented by Robin Perzicki. She is co-owner of the property located at 463 Roland Road, Fairfield, Connecticut. Also present is Mr. Jeff Smith, appraiser. Mr. Smith, are you involved in the appraising of this property as well?
Yes, I was.
Okay, great. One moment, please. What time was your appeal scheduled for?
10:45.
If you will hold one moment, I'll find out if the person who was scheduled at 10:30 is waiting downstairs.
Okay.
And find out if she is willing to wait till 10:45 to take your assigned place.
Bye.
Okay. Everything is being recorded and it is available, accessible online for the public to hear in real time.
Okay, thank you.
That's why I'm asking everyone to speak up. All right, we can continue with appeal number 291. You have previously been sworn in, so we don't have to do that a second time. The town values this property at 463 Roland Road, residential property. The town's value is $778,200, and representing your new submission is Jeff Smith, appraiser, and Jeffrey has some documentation for me. Robin Perzicki, what are you stating the value to be now?
$670,000.
And what documentation are you providing to support your claim?
I performed an appraisal of the property that I'd like to submit as evidence.
Could you briefly summarize your appraisal report.
Certainly. Once again, I did a full interior and exterior inspection of the property at 463 Roland Road on February 22nd of this year. The property is 1,604 square feet. It is a split-level style home, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. The house is not FEMA compliant. It has a 1-car garage, but it doesn't have a deck or a fireplace.
Are deck and fireplace listed on the card?
No,
property card?
no, I'm just saying
Okay.
for the amenities that it does not have
Yes.
compared to some of the other homes in the area. I chose 5 comparables within the beach neighborhood. All are recent sales. The first sale is 785 Roland Road, obviously located on the same street, sold for $650,000 on April 2nd of 2020. It is similar in square footage and condition. It is not FEMA compliant. The second comparable is 664 Beach Road. It sold for $709,000 on October 25th of 2019. The house is a Cape Cod style home, was in similar condition, and it was slightly larger. The next comparable was 145 Puritan Road. It sold for $775,000 on March 24th of 2020. It had been recently updated, and it was about approximately 800 square feet larger than the subject. The fourth comparable that I chose was 186 Puritan Road. It sold for $770,000 on December 24th of 2019. It had been recently updated and was slightly about 500 square feet larger than the subject. And the fifth comparable I chose was 58 Smith Street, which closed for $649,000 on June 29th of 2020. It was a little bit smaller than the subject, but it was in similar condition. The adjusted value range of the comparables is from $658,600 to $705,300. Again, I gave the most weight to the comparables 1 and 2. They're the most similar in square footage. They are both similar in condition. And neither one is FEMA compliant, as are the other comparables. And I determined a value as of October 1st of 2020 to be $670,000. Thank you.
Thank you. Do your appraisals show the depreciation percent, or is that in the adjustment?
I didn't do the cost approach. I just did the market approach, the sales comparison approach.
Excellent. Thank you very much for clarifying that for me. Okay. Any other information that you want to add to your file?
I had again contacted Terry Keegan, the owner-broker at Fairfield County Real Estate, 35 years as a realtor in town, to look over the house inside and out, and he corroborated Jeff Smith's appraisal of $670,000. He said that, basically the non-FEMA compliant houses are harder to sell, and their value is, obviously less than the FEMA compliant home. And then I just want to add that the houses are old. My mom's house is old.
Yes.
The only renovations that we have done to the home were in 2010, put on like a small addition to allow her to stay on first floor and live in her home as an elderly senior next to me. So
I understand.
that's where, you know, this is all from. It's her house, but I care for her. So.
Yeah, I should add that there was minimal updating to the house.
Yes.
So.
Not in my house next door, which I didn't add, really has, you know, needs a bunch of work.
Well, I do see from the property card that there is a depreciation percentage that is represented, and also a grade level that is lower than average. So that plus your appraisal will be taken into consideration.
Great, thank you.
And so if there's nothing else,
No, I'm going to add.
Yes, I will add that information to the file along with the appraisal. And I will, as I said before, be representing and presenting your hearing information before the board when we do our deliberations. And a letter will be sent to you within 7 days of the completion of the deliberations with our decision. And if it is approved, you will be able to resubmit in 5 years. If it's disapproved, you can come back next year, or you can present to the Superior Court, State of Connecticut, if you disagree with the decision of the board. So I want to thank you very much for coming in and presenting information.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. The ending time is 10:42 a.m.
Great, thank you again.
Thank you.
Leave this open?
Yes, please. And there's a lady waiting downstairs, and you can tell her that she can come up.
Is that no?
That's the last person that I asked for. Yes.
Okay, I think I know. She's a realtor. I think I know who she is. You want me to send her up?
Alice DiZenzo. Yes, please.
People came down, so I'm assuming you wanted me to come up.
Yes, Alice. Please have a seat in this chair.
Sure. Let me give you what I want to give you.
I will take that from you in just a moment. I have a bit of paperwork to do.
Okay, did you find my stuff?
And we'll try to help you get to your next appointment.
That's okay. I texted them and I said they're running 15 minutes late.
I apologize for the delay, but the folders were out of order. And the prior hearing was associated with the same person. So they were already here, and we took it in lieu of yours.
I was wondering about that. If I came early, if they would have taken me.
We can begin. I'm just going to shut the door.
Okay. So I worked on updating it and, you know, making it a little more concise. And some of the information I had was already outdated, so I typed up a new cover letter with updated info. And I made a copy for you.
This is Harold Zawatski. Today is March 2nd, 2021. The time is 10:45 a.m. And we're hearing appeal number 65-61. And present is the owner, Alice DiZenzo. Alice, the property that you're appealing is 649 Roland Road.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
And you are the owner of the
Yes.
property? The town has you appraised at $769,500, and you're seeking a market value of $600,000. Is that correct?
Yes, that's what I think.
Okay. I'm going to swear you in, and on the table there under the pen is a form to sign. So I'm going to read you this statement. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Terrific. So if you could sign the paper and fill in the information that's indicated, I'd appreciate it.
March 2nd. Want this?
Yes, I'll take it from you in a moment. Okay, Alice, that's great. So, as you know, the board is comprised of volunteers.
Oh, that's very nice of you.
And we do this on behalf of the citizens of the town of Fairfield who wish to appeal their assessment. And we act as advocates for fellow taxpayers
I didn't
to
realize.
hear the appeal, and then the information will be presented to the majority of the Board of Assessment Appeals. There are 9 members.
Now, do you go to that and talk to them, or is it just handed in as paperwork?
No. I will be presenting your case and the information that you're providing today to the other members. They will have an opportunity to ask questions and review public information as well. And then we will vote. We will need a quorum of the members to vote, and then I'll explain to you what will happen after that. After I ask you to provide some information and testimony as to why you believe the market value of your home as of October 1st, 2020, which is the revaluation year end, and why you're seeking $600,000. What information do you have to support your request?
I have, I did study the market in my neighborhood, and I have copies, but I made a summary that I'd like to give to you that's updated since the one you had, because the numbers changed, and I went on VSGI, as in appraisal.
Yes. Okay, I have that, the updated copy.
Okay, you have that. Okay, and then there were some things we had to do here with the fill-out petition. So on that, I said my reason for appeal was I felt the town value appraisal of $760.95 is too high. My property is impacted by wetlands. I have a map from the wetlands department in town. They also are wetland setbacks from that line, which I have on the map to show you. It's 50 feet beyond that. And the topography of my backyard, so that's about a third of the property is wetlands in the back. Another third is the setback. And then that wetland third of the whole backyard is lower than both side neighbors who filled in their lots years ago. I'm not saying these people who live there did it. It probably goes way back to prior owners, but years ago they filled in, and mine is lower, and I tried to fill it in years ago when I first bought the house. The woman who I bought it from said I could fill it in, but I got dirt, and some neighbors called the town, and they came and said, no, you can't fill in. So it's about 1.5 feet lower, and I'm the catch basin for water, and I have a picture of that I can show you as well. So this is the map, which you might have, but if not, I have a copy of that. And I'd like to review those pictures with you.
I'll take that.
Okay. So this is from the town. This is the one that shows the demarcation of the wetland, and then the yellow is the 50-foot setback, which is important if you're going to build a house. And this, you can see the fence with when there's water.
Okay.
Now, you have these in your file, but if you need...
Well, that's great. Thank you.
If you have it in your file, I'll hold those, but if you don't, you'll need them.
Is your property FEMA compliant?
And my property is not FEMA compliant, no.
Oh, this is a lot of wetlands. That's after quite a big storm, huh?
Yeah, and then also, if it's torrential rain, it's the same. Water goes from the fence to the fence. Well, and, you know, I have ducks swimming in my backyard if it's wet.
If it freezes, you can ice skate.
You know, I've been in this house since '92 when I bought it, when I got divorced, and my daughter and her friend used to ice skate in the, you know, in the wetlands when it froze.
Yes.
And then I also, all the old capes in the beach area that aren't FEMA compliant, you know, builders buy them up and want to build FEMA compliant homes. And I feel that with the wetlands, it impacts the value of mine even to builders because they don't like wetlands and they don't want to deal with wetlands with the town because it takes 6 months and they don't want to waste time, you know, and go through that.
And you wanted, this is Harold, you wanted to fill in the wetland area, but the town refused to permit that, or what happened?
You know, I had just bought the house back then. I didn't know anything about the beach area, and I just had some dirt. I just had dirt delivered. Just the woman told me I could do it. So a neighbor called the town, and they said, "No, you can't fill it in. It's wetlands." And I spoke to Joe Biankowski.
Of the town?
Yeah, and he said you can't. So I never even pursued it after that. I was, you know, just let it go. I don't know if I got a permit, if they would let me out. It's just, and he said no. So then I have the updated sheet, which I kind of do you want to ask questions, and then we'll go over my summary?
No, this is your time to present your information.
Okay.
So we're referring to the summary sheet that
I handed you that says updated info?
Yes. You'd like to go through that briefly?
Yeah, because
all right, we only have a couple of more minutes.
All right, well,
that's
why I made a summary.
Yes, excellent. Thank you.
So we discussed a third of my property is wetlands with a 50-foot setback line. So you have a map of that.
I see that.
Yep, and that impacts if you're going to build or add on or build a new house on the property.
Yes.
I mentioned my backyard wetlands area topography is substantially lower by 1.5 to 2 feet than both side neighbors who filled in. And my yard is the catch basin for water for the 2 side neighbors. You have a photo of that. I have a 1953 cape. It's not FEMA compliant. It's not raised. It's a cape with 2 bedrooms upstairs. So when I compare to others that might have 3, you know, I have 2 up. I have 2 old bathrooms, you know, original tubs and tile in the shower. I have a crawl space. It's about 30 inches. It's not a full basement. The garage and the garage doors and the driveway are in disrepair and poor condition. I probably need to build a new one or get a driveway, but I haven't. So I believe my property is a tear down by today's standards. So the value is in the land, which is, we talked about a third of it is the wetlands and additional 50-foot setback. I know, contrary to what the town wants us to how to handle these appeals, this is the reality of the beach area today. You know,
yes.
So I am going to talk about the land appraisals. I don't know how you value the house, but the land I pulled up a lot of comps, and the reval said my value appraisal of the whole parcel is $769,500. My land appraisal being $706,600. Okay?
I'm looking at the card.
Yeah. The land appraisal 7066, is that the current one?
Looking at the card for 649 Roland Road, which is your property,
Correct.
and I see that it's appraised at 706,600
For the land appraisal.
as a land appraisal.
And that's what I want to discuss.
Okay.
Okay. So I have a few comps. I'll read them off. I do have the paperwork to back it, but I made a summary. 141 Roland Road is a cape. It's hard to find capes because they're all knocked down now, but I found a few enough. 141 Roland is a cape. It has no wetland, and they appraised the land value. The house is appraised $554,400, and the land appraisal is $444,900. That was 141 Roland. 491 Roland, a cape, no wetlands in the backyard. The land appraisal was $659,200, and mine, I feel it has wetlands, and I feel that heavily impacts the property.
Yes.
And the lower
Understood.
Topography.
Yes.
785 Roland, it sold this year for $650,000, and it's one house up from the beach. It has 3 bedrooms upstairs versus my 2 bedrooms upstairs, and it's a house from the beach. And their land appraisal was $630,600 versus mine $706,600. 234 Lally Boulevard.
Yes.
A builder bought that house to raise it and make it FEMA compliant and rehab, and he bought it for $600,000. It sold for $600,000. 22120. You have that. 43 Puritan, a builder bought that. It's almost the same size property as mine without the wetlands. They tore it down. He paid $650,000 for a tear down. The land appraised for $605,800. 38 Forest is around the corner. It's a cape. It sold for $585,000. The appraisal for the land was $412,900. 32 Longdine was also torn down. The land appraised for $507,000. It sold this 3/31/2020. It sold for $417,500, but the land was valued at $507,000.
Your property is approximately a quarter of an acre.
Right.
0.28.
Yeah.
Are the comps that you presented have similar?
You're trying to get close to that. Yeah.
Very good.
I'm not using any .11s or .12s or .14. Most of these are .22 or 24.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's great.
Similar. There is a land on 920 Old Post Road. It's .22 acres. It's this land, and they valued their appraisal at $408,000. Now, Fox Street is 1 block over from where my house is.
Yes.
And I have 68 Fox and 44 Fox. A builder bought both of those. He paid $450,000 for one and $500,000 for the other.
Yes.
So he built new houses. If you look at the field card, the new total appraisal is the whole new construction. But I have the documentation, which is what he paid. He paid $450,000 and $500,000, and they appraised the land both at $453,200.
Okay.
Okay.
I see that.
28 Lighthouse Point sold in October 2019 for $600,000. They tore it down. It's direct beachfront to build another house.
That's 26 Lighthouse Point?
Yeah, right
Okay,
on
I see it.
the beach, right on the beach, right on the sand. And I felt like, well, if they paid $600 for that, and they're direct beachfront, and I'm not, I shouldn't be over $600. So then I summarized about teardowns. The teardowns are selling for $450,000, $500,000, 1 block over on Fox Street. 234 Lally Boulevard sold for $600,000 as a teardown. 43 Puritan sold for $650,000. 32 Longdine, $417,500, and they're not impacted by wetlands like my property is. And I said, I'm a realtor. I don't even know builders who would pay me $769,500, the new appraisal. I feel it's most likely a tear down if I sold it by today's standards, especially with the wetlands and the wetland setbacks. I think I'd have a hard time getting, even to get a builder, they don't want to touch the wetland.
Right. Okay.
And then I ended with, I don't see how my non-FEMA compliant cape with 2 bedrooms up, 1,726 square feet, built in 53, with the wetland issue and the setback issues and the topography could appraise at 769.5, which is more than all these that I've documented.
That's very good. You provided a lot of very good information.
Okay.
And I appreciate you coming in.
Thank you.
The next steps are we will meet to deliberate with a quorum of our 9-member board, and a letter will be sent to you with our decision within 7 days if you're indicating if there's going to be reduction or not. If you are granted your appeal, you cannot come back to the board for 5 years until the next revaluation period. If you are not granted an appeal, you can come back next year. If you are dissatisfied with the board's decision...
If you are granted an appeal, you have 5 years. If you're not granted anything,
you can come back next year.
Oh, okay.
And if you are not granted, in the letter that is sent to you will be instructions on how you may appeal to the state superior court and follow their procedure for filing an appeal with
Probably won't go that way.
I understand it becomes an expensive
tedious, but
process.
I appreciate this time that they give us to present our case.
Yes.
I also, from the packet you had, I took some out and I updated that. Do you want to trade? And I'll give you my updated comps and you can give me back the outdated ones. I wish I had a copier in here.
Well, I do have the entire folder here.
But they're not, the comps that I used are updated. I updated them here.
Do you want me to take that in lieu of this? Or just add that to the file?
Well, these are all the comps, and these are current.
I can add that to the file if you wish, and you can come in at any time and request
a copy. Okay,
just
I would only like the wetland. This packet would be the comps to support that would be updated prices.
And that is based upon the summary that you gave me.
Yes, so I updated the summary. Those comps are the updated ones because as the town was changing things, I guess things changed, and they said go on VSGI for the updated appraisals. So that's as of this weekend where I got my information. If you have a double copy of those wetland maps in my file, I would take the ones I had just to hold on to because I had to get it from the town.
I can give those back to you because I do see them in the folder, along with the picture.
The picture, I want you to have a picture, and I want you to have.
One moment, we're finishing up here.
But you do need, if you have them, I'll take it. If you don't, I would leave it with you.
No, that's fine. Thank you very much for coming in.
All right.
And thank you for rescheduling your time.
Tell me to wait a minute.
It is now 10:04 a.m. and we are ending appeal number 65-61 in room number 1. Alice DeZenzo, appeal number 65-61. Thank you.
Thank you, Harold. When are they going to meet? When do they meet?
We're going to be scheduling these towards the end of the month.
Oh, so it's this month.
Yes.
And then I get a letter, I guess.
Within 7 days.
Oh, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate your volunteer work. Bye now.
Bye-bye. Your name, sir?
My name is Len Moscow.
Hey, Len.
Howdy, how are you? Good.
Were you sent up to this room?
I know I'm here for my appeal. That the lady told me to come down to the hallway. She said take a right here.
To which?
Where's the appeal? Where the office is the appeal? It's for South Pine Creek Road.
Maybe across the hall. Just a moment. It was for 11 o'clock, right?
Yes.
Let me know.
Your next appointment's here early. Would you like her to come up?
Jane McDonald, was that?
Yes.
Be fine.
That's okay.
Yes. If you don't mind.
Here.
I think closer to the phone.
Here.
This is Harold Zawatski, and I am hearing appeal number 42, being presented by Jane McDonald. Property is located at 664 Beach Road, parcel ID number 11548. It is currently 11:09 a.m. on Tuesday, March 2nd, 2021. Ms. McDonald, if you could give me a moment to do some paperwork here, and then I will verify some information and ask you to please swear in.
Okay.
One moment. You were scheduled for 11:15.
Yes.
It is currently 11:09 a.m. Ms. McDonald, we have a little bit more paperwork to do this year because of COVID regulations. Also, I would mention to you that this hearing is being recorded, and it's also accessible in real time by the public through this speakerphone here. That's why I've asked you to sit close. So please do speak up so that the microphone will hear you. Your appeal number is number 42. The property you are appealing is located at 664 Beach Road, Fairfield, Connecticut. Are you the owner of that property?
Yes.
Great. And the town has you assessed for appraised for $826,000, and you believe that the market value should be $750,000. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. I'm going to swear you in now. And in front of you is a form I would ask you to sign once you're sworn in. So if you don't mind to hold up your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you very much.
Sign?
Yes, please sign, and then you can pass that to me for my signature. Thank you.
Yep.
So this is really an opportunity, it's a hearing, and it's an opportunity for you to present your case, why you feel that there should be reduction. I am a member of the Board of Assessment Appeals. We are volunteers, and we act as representatives, if you will, of the fellow tax members of the town of Fairfield, taxpayers, and we act as your advocate. And so I will ask you to present your case, and then as to why you believe the market value as of this past year, October 1st, 2020, should be reduced from what the town sent you. And then I will be presenting your case before the board for discussion and deliberations. I'll explain some more of that a bit later. So please share with me why you feel that there should be a reduction.
I, first of all, have an appraisal. I bought my house in end of October of 2019, and I had an appraisal done at that time, which I have provided to you. Actually, it was provided during the informal appeal process, and you should have that in front of you, and that appraisal came in at $715,000 for fair market value, and that was within the period of 10/1/19 to 10/1/20. So that's, I want to let you know that when I bought my house on the 25th of October 2019, it was appraised at $715,000.
Yes.
Okay, that's number one. Number two, I pulled up comparable sales that happened, I think with one exception. One was right outside of the timeline. Comparable beach sales that occurred between 10/1/19 and 10/1/20. Looking at square footage and looking at my neighborhood, and nothing has come close in terms of land value to what the town is saying my property, my tiny property, is worth. And I have a copy of this here. I believe I presented it to you, but I can give this to you if you'd like it as well.
I'll take that.
And what I did as well is I went back and I looked, this was the sale price, the square footage, the date of the sale. This is the land appraisal for each of those. And my land appraisal is almost $645,000. So it's much, much more than any of those.
I understand. You said that you had an informal hearing. Was there any adjustment made?
There was about a $25,000 adjustment. It was originally the assessment was originally $601,930, and after the informal, it went down to $5,782,100.
The original assessment was how much again, please?
601,930.
601,930.
Which would basically say I could get $860,000 for my house.
Right. So that's
and I paid $709.
Assessment. And the assessment after your informal hearing?
578,200, which would say that I could get $826,000 for my house. And again, a little over a year ago, I paid $709.
And what year was the house purchased?
2019, October of 19. October 25th, I think it was.
Okay, I'm
it's
sure
close.
it's on the card.
It's on here, I'm sure.
It's on your property card. Too.
Yes, I'm looking at my property card. October 25th, 2019.
And you made that on the note for your reason for appeal.
Yep.
I see that.
Mm-hmm.
You have included an appraisal.
Correct.
I believe.
I have. I emailed it. You've got it.
In your file. Yes,
Yep.
I do have it. Who performed the appraisal?
Greg Lane.
And the date of the appraisal is 8/21/19?
I think he did it when I was bidding on the house, yeah.
Okay, so that was done for the purchase?
Yep.
And prior to the purchase? Prior to the purchase?
It was prior. The purchase closing date was 25th of October.
Yes, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the appraisal and the comparison and the notes that you provided regarding the land values, comparable land values, is all very good information.
Thank you.
And we will be using that. This is not an automatic process. We will review all the information, deliberate with other members of the board, and come up with a decision. The decision will be mailed to you within 7 days.
Oh, soon.
Of the deliberations, which typically the deliberations take place later in the month after we conduct the 600 plus hearings that we have.
And I bet $5.99 are at the beach.
Well, there's a lot from all over the town, truth be told. But within 7 days, a decision will be sent to you. If it's approved, you will get that in the letter. If it's approved, you cannot come back to appeal until the next revaluation, which is 5 years down the road. If it's not approved, you can come back next year, or you have the option to go before the Superior Court for the state of Connecticut. But you provided some very good information. You've shown us what you paid for the house in October of last year, which is very recent. You provided comps through the appraisal. So that all that information is good information to help support your case, and we will use it in our deliberations.
Okay.
Do you have any questions for me?
I guess my big question is, what is the valuation based on? Is it land, or is it the house?
It's based upon the total house and land. Now, adjustments can be made on both. If there are discrepancies, or if it's not comparable to the comps that you provided. So, but we do take the property as a whole, because as you can appreciate, same house, in other areas of the town
Mm-hmm.
could make the total assessment less
Right.
or more,
Right.
as the case may be,
Right.
and a different house on
Right.
the same property could be
Right.
more or less as well. So the assessor's office does take the property as a whole
Mm-hmm.
in doing its assessment. However, we can look at the components of the assessment in our deliberations. If you have any
Yeah,
more detailed questions,
I do.
since I'm not
Oh,
an assessor or appraiser,
yeah.
I would direct you to speak to the assessor's office downstairs, and they could probably answer more detailed questions, but I'm happy to help you.
Well, here's a question. If they're, in terms of evaluating the house, not the land, other than square footage, what is the appraisal based on?
Condition.
But how can you tell if you
Description.
haven't gone in the house?
We do, on the property card, you may notice a depreciation percentage
Mm-hmm.
and also a condition percentage, which is determined generally by a visual.
But it's just looking at the outside of the house.
If you want to request a more detailed inspection,
Right.
I can fill out a form for you, and the assessor's office
Yeah.
can contact you to do a more detailed inspection.
I remember in the old days that I think we'd get a letter in the mail that would say they wanted permission to come in the house.
You're probably right. Yes.
And you could say yes or no. You could refuse that, I think, if you wanted, or you just wouldn't be home. You'd be at work, whatever.
Yes.
But this never happened this time. And I'm not suggesting I want somebody to come in my house, but my point is, looking property aside, how can you value a house except by square footage and by looking at the outside? If the outside looks neat, and my house looks neat, and it's 1,900 square feet, that's all you can base it on, I assume.
If you feel that you should take a look at your property card,
Yep.
and on the property card
Yep,
it
I
will
have
have
it. Yep.
a depreciation level. I don't seem to find a copy of the
I have my
card
card.
itself.
I have my card right here. And I'm looking for...
There's a more detailed property card that can be gotten. You could request that downstairs at the assessor's office.
Okay, this is the only one I have, and this doesn't have depreciation
right.
on it.
There's a more detailed card that's on Vision, which is a service that lists all of the property cards, and they can give you a copy of that downstairs. And that shows a depreciation level and a grade level, which also adjusts the price.
A, B, C, whatever.
Well,
or good.
Percentage.
It's good. I see
it's
good
percentage
on
and
mine.
number.
Yeah.
So, 5 is an average for grade level.
Yep.
You can be 3, 4, 5.
Yep.
In newer houses, it could be 6, 7.
Yep.
And the depreciation level could be based upon the age of the home.
Right.
So that could be a number that also affects the valuation. So
it's
without
honestly,
going into the home, those are the factors. And again, I'm not an assessor or appraiser, so I'll have to excuse myself in providing additional.
It's just interesting. I mean, really, my objection is based more on the land value.
I understand that.
Than it is on the house structure value. But I'm just curious because, as I said, I remember in the old days somebody would come to our door and say, or we'd get a letter saying we'd like permission to come in, and that never happened this time. So.
Well, it's hard to do with the COVID
With COVID,
situation.
it would have been anyway, I know. Maybe that's
obviously.
Why. Okay.
But there is a form that you can request an inspection if you feel that something is not the same.
Okay.
Maybe the number of rooms that are on the more detailed cards does not equate to what you actually have, that sort of thing. So that's why I'm suggesting that you get a copy of your detailed card. That's the folks downstairs, and they can print that.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know there were 2 different cards. Who knew?
Yes, I understand. But how did you pull your copy?
It's just off I think the Vision website.
Okay. On the Vision website, there is, on the upper right-hand, a choice for the property card as well. And when you click that, that gives you the more detailed property card, which I have in the office, and with a picture of your home and the details of your, more detail than you get on the initial report.
Okay, I think that's what I have here, actually. I've got the picture, as far as I know. But
and probably it's in the appraisal documents.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I have it's a 3-pager, and it's got a picture of my house.
Let me see the first page. No, that's not the full one.
No? Okay, that's the only one.
They can give it to you downstairs.
Okay.
I have that in the folder here as well.
Okay.
All right, anything else I can help you with?
I don't think so. No, that's it.
Okay, this is Harold Zawatski. We are concluding appeal number 42 with Jane McDonald. It is now 11:27 a.m. on March 2nd, 2021. $11:27 a.m. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you very much. And last question, are the decisions rolling? In other words, you said in a couple of weeks I'll get a letter?
We will be doing our deliberations towards the end of the month after we get through the 600.
You do all of them at once?
Well, we have to spread it out because we're going to be deliberating on over 600.
Right, but in other words, you don't do this week's on Friday, next week's on next Friday?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Not necessarily.
Okay, just so I know when
But
to
you
expect.
can expect a decision by the end of March.
Okay.
Or the first week if our deliberations fall in towards the end of the month.
Okay. April Fools.
No, certainly not. Thank you for coming in.
Okay, thank you very much.
Appeal number 42 ended at 11:27 a.m. on Tuesday, March 2nd, 2021.
Right, and it was like 1, 2, 3. Oh, we can write it in. Okay. I just want to make sure that you stop to the line.
Hello.
Hello?
Is this Evelyn Messerly?
Yes, it is.
All right. Evelyn, this is Harold Zawatski calling from the Board of Assessment Appeals for your hearing.
Right.
All right. If you just give me a moment, I apologize for being a bit late, but I need to state a few things, and if you can bear with me, I'd appreciate it.
Of course.
We have a lot more paperwork to do at this year because of the COVID restrictions.
Okay.
This is Harold Zawatski. I am going to be hearing appeal number 3, being presented by Evelyn Messerly. And this is a teleconference hearing. It is currently 11:37 a.m. Evelyn, your appeal number is number 3, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And the property that you're appealing is located at 480 Penfield Road, Fairfield, Connecticut?
Yes.
The town has you appraised at $862,000. Is that correct?
Well, that's what the town has me appraised at, yes.
And your opinion of the fair market value of your property is $699,000. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. At this point, I'm going to swear you in verbally, and you will also be receiving in the mail. Do you have an email account as well?
Yes, I do.
All right, it might come to you by email. I'm not sure. But let me ask you if you wouldn't mind to raise your right hand.
Yes, okay.
And let me read this. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Great. Okay. So when you get the form for the swearing in, please state write your name on it and the date and time that we're doing this hearing. That would be greatly appreciated.
Okay.
So this hearing, my name again is Harold Zawatski. I'm one of the members of the Fairfield Board of Assessment Appeals. We are volunteers and we act as advocates for fellow taxpayers to hear their appeal and reasons why they feel that the assessment of their homes for tax purposes should be changed. And this is based upon the revaluation that ended October 1st, 2020, and we take into consideration the previous year's sales and market value of similar homes. Did you provide any paperwork that you would like to add to the record to help you substantiate your claim?
You mean above and beyond what I sent in?
Well, what you sent in was a letter that says that the house, well, actually it's not a letter, but it's on your form, house not FEMA compliant when sold, structures will be torn down and replaced by a raised three-story one. Builders only have offered $699,000 maximum. Are you stating, Evelyn, that that is the amount you wish to have your appraisal reduced to for fair market value based upon what builders have told you? Is that correct?
Right.
All right. Do you have any information to substantiate that reason?
No, I don't. I wasn't forward-looking enough to ask the builders to put it in writing. But since Storm Sandy, I've gotten maybe 5 offers on the house. Not this last year. Nobody's offering anything on it this last year because of COVID, I presume. But they were consistently $699,000 offers.
And do those come from, you live in the house, right?
Yes, I live in the house alone.
Okay. And are you able to leave your premises to come to the town hall?
Well, yes, but it's difficult.
I understand. If you can come to the town hall, I would like to suggest that you come to the assessor's office in the old town hall building and ask them to provide you some additional information of comparable properties that show similar value that can then be added to your folder. And I would recommend that you do that as soon as it is feasible for you to do that.
That's not possible.
It's not. Okay. Is there somebody that can do that on your behalf?
No, not really.
Okay. I see some additional names on the property, Alan, Don, and Evan, necessarily.
Yeah.
Are they co-owners of your property?
Well, at this point, yes.
Okay, I understand.
But only in name only.
Yes, yes. You live at the property alone, right?
Yes, and I pay the taxes, et cetera, et cetera.
Did you have an informal hearing?
I didn't go to an informal hearing, no.
And have you appealed in previous years? No, I see.
Never.
I see you did not. Okay. Have you had an inspection done in your home in recent years?
No.
Okay. I'm asking these questions to see if there's any way that I can gather some additional information that would help support your claim. If there doesn't appear to be any, what we will do is we will evaluate and discuss and deliberate your appeal request based upon comparable properties in the area. And then the next steps will be that a letter will be sent to you with the decision of the majority of the Board of Assessment Appeals after we do our deliberations. I will present your case and present the information that you've provided. And the quorum of the board, we are 9 members, so a quorum will be 5 members, will vote on your appeal, and you will receive a letter within 7 days of our decision, which will probably be towards the end of March. And if you are allowed your appeal, if it's approved, you will not be able, that will be indicated in the letter, and you cannot appeal again for 5 years until the next reevaluation period. If it's not approved, if we decline your appeal, then you can come back again next year, or if you wish to appeal to the Superior Court in the state of Connecticut. Are there any questions that you have of me that I could help you with?
No, I just wanted to say one more thing.
Certainly.
What it is my land has value.
Yes.
My house has no value at this point.
Well, it has some value because you're living in it, so we'll take that into consideration.
Okay.
We'll take into consideration.
For market value, it has no value.
I understand. And we will take that into consideration based upon the age of the home, the depreciation of the home, the other characteristics of the home as well.
Mostly it's because when the home is sold,
yes,
when the property is sold, they're immediately going to tear down the house and build a new one.
Yes, because of the where the home is located. We understand
Right.
that.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything else I could help you with at this time?
No. Thanks for your time.
Well, thank you for appealing, and as I said, we will deliberate and come to a decision, and you will be notified by mail, certainly by the end of the month.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
This telephone hearing ended at 11:47 a.m. for property appeal number 3, 480 Penfield Road. The hearing was done with the owner, Evelyn Messerly. She is an elderly woman, well, scratch that, but she is unable to provide any additional information at this time. Thank you.
smiling.
Okay.
Come on.
Thank you.
You take this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Please have a seat.
Thank you.
This is appeal number 1. Today is March 2nd. And this appeal was scheduled for 11:45 a.m. My name is Harold Zawatski. In room number 1. And we are starting this hearing at 11:52 a.m. Mr. Riches, how are you?
Pretty good, thank you.
I'm Harold Zawatski. I'm a member of the Board of Assessment Appeals. I just want to point out that this phone here is picking up our voices.
Yeah.
So I would ask you to direct your voice towards that phone, please. This hearing is being recorded and is also accessible by the public in real time. And the reason we're doing that is because of the COVID requirements this year, which are quite unique. So, Mr. Riches, welcome.
Thank you.
As a member of the Board of Assessment Appeals, we are volunteers. We act as advocates for our fellow taxpayers in the town of Fairfield. And the first step I have for us is to verify certain information that you provided on your petition. Again, this is appeal number 1. Congratulations, you're the first on the list. The property you're appealing is 503 Penfield Road, Fairfield, is that correct?
That's correct.
And you are the owner of the property?
Yeah, jointly with my wife.
Jointly with your wife, but that's fine. And the town has you assessed at $879,200, and your opinion of the fair market value is $687,300. Is that correct?
That's correct, yes.
And that's you are requesting a reduction to that appraised value of $687,300.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to ask you to be sworn in now.
Yes.
And on the table is a form for you to sign and date after I swear you in. So if you don't mind, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the information you shall give concerning the assessment appeal now in question shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Okay, please write your name and sign the paper, and then I will also sign it that you're here for your hearing.
It's got appeal number. What do I?
1.
1. Okay.
So is it Mr. Riches?
Yep.
Is that how it's pronounced?
That's
Thank you, sir.
correct.
So this is your opportunity, Mr. Riches, to please provide some details as to why you believe the market value of your home as of this past year ending October 1st, 2020 should be reduced your opinion to $687,300. And please explain your reasoning, and then I'll take whatever information you would like me to.
Do you mind if I refer to my notes?
Yes, that's not a problem. I would just ask that you please speak up and towards the telephone.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Well, my appeal is not for reasons associated with the actual structure of the building. My reason is directly to do with the sale value of the house. My house is not FEMA compliant. This aspect was discussed in your WebEx presentation, as I remember.
Yes.
That type, that sort of thing. As I recall, it was said that a non-compliant house was of less value than a house that is compliant. I'm really unsure in dollars or percentages what that means.
Yes.
I can say that if and when we sell the house, would likely be classified as a tear down. So the price, the actual market price, would represent the value of the land only, and could be further reduced by the cost of demolition. We are paying at the moment $1,000 a year for flood insurance, and if we sold as it stands, any future purchaser, if they just took the building as well, they would have to pay probably more because we don't have a mortgage, and I'm sure the bank would insist upon
yes
them having them.
Congratulations for paying off your mortgage.
yeah. Anyway, so my contention is that a fairer basis would be for the value of the land only, and that's why, and I've used that value that's on the sheet, which was 687,000 and change.
I understand.
So that's it. It's a simple opinion, if you like. But of course, it's become more relevant now that state and local taxes on your, income tax declaration.
Yes, it's not.
It's not like it used to be.
It can't be used as a deduction. Yes, that has.
So that's it. There's
hurt quite a bit.
Nothing wrong with the description of the house or anything like that. It's all fair, all reasonable.
And you currently live in the home, and is that correct?
We live
in the home.
In the home,
on the
yes.
property.
Yes.
And you're not contemplating selling it?
No, not right now. No.
Do you have any supporting documents as to how similar properties might be valued?
No, we don't. We don't.
Okay. It's not unusual that people come in to express their opinion related to a portion of the home site, whether it's the building or the property, and the appraisals, as you noted, are done on the total value of the property, structure, and land. And I do understand that you want us to focus on the land value. We will take into consideration what you stated.
Thank you.
If there's any additional paperwork that you want me to have, I'll be happy to take it. If you have any other questions, I'll be happy to answer them for you. But I think you've stated your reasons quite succinctly, and I appreciate that. Can I share with you what will happen as the next steps? You might be interested. I, as the person who did the hearing, will present your hearing information to the rest of the members of the Board of Assessment Appeals, and assuming that we have a quorum of members. There are 9 members on the board. We'll need a quorum of 5, and we will hear your appeal with a quorum. And within 7 days of our making a decision, we will deliberate, discuss, come to a decision that we will vote on. And within 7 days of that, a letter will be sent to you with our decision. If your appeal is approved or approved in part, then that will be granted in the letter. And you won't be able to come back for another appeal until the next reevaluation period in 5 years. If it's not approved...
If I'm alive.
We're about the same. If it's not approved, you can come back next year. If you are dissatisfied with the decision of the board, you can, of course, appeal it to the Superior Court of the State of Connecticut, which you may wish to do or not do. That's your decision. But you will get an answer from us within 7 days of our decision as a result of our deliberations. Any questions for me?
Yeah, once again, when will that be, do you think?
Well, we're listening to over 600 appeals this year. It's quite a big number because of the reevaluation. We hope to finish our hearings and complete our deliberations within the month of March. We try to do the hearings first and then gather up all of the hearings like this and then deliberate on them towards the end of the month. So I would assume that it would be the end of the month or the first week of April, given the fact that we have 7 days in the mail when you would receive your letter. The address that we have is 503 Penfield Road in Fairfield?
Yes.
That's correct. What's your zip code?
06824.
Okay, I'm just adding that to your document here. And that's about it, sir. Thank you for coming in.
Yeah, I've signed this. Do you want me to put the date on and all this?
I can do that for you, and I will sign it as well. And that concludes the hearing. It is currently 12:03 p.m. on March 2nd, 2021. And we have just heard appeal number 1, and my name is Harold Zawatski in room number 1. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks very much.
Thank you, sir. This concludes the hearings for the morning of March 2nd, 2021. It is currently 12:04 p.m.